Baki Hanma fights a gang of 100 thugs and he managed to defeat 37 people. Afterward he is walked home by Detective Kido and his partner who watched the fight. Baki then trains and thinks about what he should do to get stronger. Meanwhile, Kuriagawa, the man who hired the thugs to fight Baki in order to test his strength, pays the gang's leader named Kitazawa. Also, Baki watches a sparring match between Yuri Tchaikovsky, the international welterweight boxing champion, and Dinoy, Thailand's Muay Thai champion. Baki spars with boxing champion Yuri Tchaikovsky. Meanwhile, Kuriagawa meets with Kaoru Hanayama, a gangster and renowned brawler, to set up a fight with Baki. Baki meets his friend Reichi Ando in the woods and stays with him. Meanwhile, there Baki adapts some of Ando's training techniques and he camps alone on Yasha Rock, hoping to fight with the Yasha ape. Baki Hanma fights with Yasha Ape and after a very hard fight, Baki eventually defeats the giant monster. Later he and Yasha Ape becomes friends and Yasha Ape gives Baki his fang as a sign of respect and friendship. After returning home, Baki learned that Yuri will be fighting for the heavyweight title, so visits Yuri at his gym. Meanwhile, Kuriagawa tells Hanayama that he can't fight Baki until Baki has fought Yuri, but Hanayama has other plans. Before Yuri's title fight, he is attacked by Hanayama, who defeats him and destroys his hand. After being knocked down by Baki, Hanayama flies into a rage in his office. Afterward, he visits his sick mother in the hospital. Also, Baki visits Yuri and his sister Nina in the hospital before his rematch with Hanayama. Baki and Hanayama fights and Hanayama's tattoo is explained. Baki's father Yujiro Hanma shows up after Baki's fight with Kaoru Hanayama. After the story of how Yujiro met Baki's mother is told, Yujiro and Hanayama fight. Baki explained to his mother why he fights, visits Hanayama in the hospital and trains. After a brief encounter with Yujiro, who killed the Yasha ape, which made Baki angry since Yasha was Baki's friend after their fight, they decide that Baki and Yujiro will fight in 1 month. Baki then meets Captain Gary Stradam, who tells him of a mercenary group in Hokkaido, and Baki decides to go there to defeat them. Captured by the mercenaries as soon as he parachutes in, Baki must free himself and fight his way out against Nomura's jungle warfare team. Baki fights Gaia, an alter ego of Nomura. Yujiro Hanma breaks into the Prime Minister's office to prove a point. Baki Hanma fights the swordsman Kurogawa. Yujiro forces the archer Kanemoto to shoot an arrow at him. Baki visits his mother after she is rejected by Yujiro. All of Baki's friends showed up to watch his fight with Yujiro and to help him warm up. Meanwhile, Yujiro fights Gaia.
So why don't you shut your mouth and let's do what we came to do? I'll start with a demonstration on the potential of adrenaline.
Baki fights his own father, Yujiro. His mother died trying to protect him, and he goes travel around the world to get stronger. Antonio Igari, a pro wrestler, tells Mitsunari Tokugawa, an old man who runs an underground fighting circuit, about Baki Hanma and his recent global travels. In the narrative, Baki is thin training and fighting, and while in Brazil he visits a fighting master named Dixon. Learning of the circuit, Baki returns to Japan to meet with Tokugawa, and he fights Tokugawa's bodyguards to earn a chance to enter the circuit.
あんたそれでも本当に地下闘技場のファイターなの？なんだと？さっきから思ってたんだ。ディフェンスは確かにうまいけど、攻めの方はまっとうすぎる。
Flash forward 3 years, Baki Hanma is now the champion of the underground arena. Mitsunari Tokugawa meets with Doppo Orochi, a great Shinshinkai karate fighter, and asks him to enter his son into the arena. Doppi finds Kyusomi Kato, a former student, and his dojo beating up his fighters, and he introduces Kato to the arena. Baki trains for a fight at the boarding house where he is staying, where Kozue Matsumoto, the daughter of the woman who owned the house, has a crush on him.
バキ君、梢ちゃん、久しぶり。梢ちゃん？
これ武蔵の晩ご飯。
ああ、サンキュー。武蔵、飯。
Baki Hanma fights Kosho Shinogi, a master of court card karate.
この瞬間だけは拳が止まるんだよね。決まった！この体勢からは絶対に脱出不可能。ギブアップ以外にありません。
Kyusomi Kato spars with the fighters in Doppo Orochi's dojo. Kozue Matsumoto interferes with some bullies that are bothering Baki Hanma, which causes problem for her later. Several fighters petition Mitsunari Tokugawa to be Baki's next opponent. Baki trains with Izo Motobe. Baki fights Mount Toba, a professional wrestler.
鳥羽さん、あんたやっぱり偉大なグラップラーだ。
Yujiro Hanma shows up after Baki's fight and knocks him out, and Doppo Orochi challenges Yujiro to a fight. After watching Doppo spar with his students, Baki spars with him. Yujiro starts a fight with a group of boxers at their gym, and he fights with Izo Motobe, and Baki's next opponent is revealed.
先生、どこへ行ってらしたんですか？
ちょっと猛獣狩りにね。
Dr. Shinogi Kureha reveals to his brother Kosho Shinogi, the court cutter, why he is fighting Baki Hanma. Doppo Orochi and Yujiro Hanma fight.
神経も追いつかぬよ。それ。
The fight between Doppo Orochi and Yujiro Hanma continues. Doppo Orochi almost died, but Dr. Shinogi Kureha performs a medical miracle. After that, he demonstrates his physical abilities to the crowd. One of Kureha's former patients visits Baki and tells Baki that Shinogi is not so good person. Baki fights Dr. Shinogi Kureha. Mitsunari Tokugawa announced his plans for a world martial arts tournament, and fighters from all around the world gather for it. In the first fight of round 1 in the A block, Baki Hanma fights Artemis Regan, a professional wrestler. Baki wins in this fight. In the second fight of round 1, in the A block, Valetudo Master Zulu fights Muay Thai Master Dentorane Jipitka. Zulu wins. In the third A block match of round 1, heavyweight kickboxing champion Rob Robinson takes the professional wrestler Antonio Igari. Igari wins. In the fourth A block match of round 1, Izomotobe fights the Grand Sumo Kinryuzan. Sumo guy wins. In the first B block match of round 1, the Sambo master Sergei Takhtarov fights Kaya Retsu, a master of Chinese Kenpo. Retsu wins with no problem. In the second B block match of round 1, Kiyosomi Kato fights the son of the Yashazaru Jr. Kato can't defeat this giant monkey, so Katsumi Orochi begins to fight Yasha, almost killing it. Baki Hanma saves the Yashazaru Jr. from Katsumi Orochi. In the third B block match of round 1, Kaoru Hanayama fights the Japanese Kenpo master Bunoshin Igari and wins. In the fourth B block match of round 1, a wrestler Roland Gustav fights Orochi Katsumi. Katsumi winning here. Yujiro Hanma arrives and enters his protege Yu Amanai in the tournament. In the first C block match of round 1, heavyweight boxing world champion Iron Michael fights Taekwondo master Mouko Lee. Boxer is a winner. In the second C block match of round 1, biker gang leader Chiharu Shiba fights judo master Kohei Hanataka. Shiba wins. In the third C block match of round 1, Shorinji Kenpo master Kengo Misaki fights pro wrestler Mike Queen. Misaki is a winner. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master Sergio Silva faces pit fighter Jack Hanma in the fourth C block match of round 1. Jack wins. Yujiro Hanma tries to fight Hanma, but Baki intervenes. Jack says something to Yujiro which makes him really happy. Shoot wrestler Minoru Yamamoto faces Yu Amanai in the first D block match of round 1. Amanai wins. Richard Fields, a bouncer, faces Doppo Orochi in the second D block match of round 1. Doppo wins. Roger Herlan, an amateur wrestler, faces the Jiu-Jitsu master Goki Shibukawa in the third D block match of round 1. Goki wins. Kureha Shinogi faces Kosho Shinogi in the fourth D block match of round 1. The fourth D block match of round 1 continues as Kureha Shinogi and Kosho Shinogi continue to fight. Kosho wins. Baki faces Zulu in the first A block match of round 2. Baki wins. In the second A block match of round 2, Kanji Igari faces Kinryuzan. Igari wins. In the first B block match of round 2, Kaio Retsu faces Mount Toba. Retsu wins. In the second B block match of round 2, Kaoru Hanayama faces Katsumi Orochi. Katsumi takes the victory. In the first C block match of round 2, Chiharu Shiba faces Ian McGregor. Shiba wins. Adriano Garland, the last reserver, is introduced when it is deemed that Chiharu Shiba is in no condition to fight in the next round. In the second C block match of round 2, Jack Hanma faces Kengo Misaki. Jack wins. In the first D block match of round 2, Doppo Orochi faces Amanai Yu. Yujiro appeared in the arena and, dissatisfied with Amanai's performance, knocked him out. Doppo is declared the winner. Baki Hanma takes Kozue Matsumoto to the site of his mother's death. Yujiro Hanma fights against all of the tournament losers and wins, then he was shot by numerous sleep darts and taken away. In the second D block match of round 2, Goki Shibukawa faces Shinogi Kosho. Shibukawa wins. Igari begs Baki to let him win and they fight in the first match of the quarterfinals. Baki wins. In the second fight of the quarterfinals, Katsumi Orochi faces Retsu Kaio. Retsu wins with one punch. Adriano Garland fights an Anaconda to take things fair since he has not fought in the tournament yet, and then he faces Jack Hanma in the third fight of the quarterfinals. Adriano Garland and Jack Hanma continue to fight in the third match of the quarterfinals. Jack wins. Also, Hammer's training history is revealed. Goki Shibukawa faces Doppo Orochi in the fourth match of the quarterfinals. Shibukawa wins.
この距離までよう我慢したな。オロチ。ドッポ。長生きした分、コンマ1ミリだけわしが上かな。勝負あり！
Baki fights Red Tsukayo in the first match of the semifinals. Baki wins. In the second match of the semifinals, Goki Shibukawa loses to Jack Hanma. Baki and Jack think about their training and hardship they've endured to reach their current level of ability. Also, it is revealed that Jack is Yujiro's son and Baki's half-brother. Baki faces Jack in the final match of the tournament. Also in a flashback, Yujiro Hanma meets Jack's mother in Vietnam. Baki and Jack continue to fight in the final match. In the continuing flashback to Vietnam, Yujiro Hanma breaks into an American base and terrorizes the soldiers. Later, Jack is born. Baki and Jack continue to fight in the finals and Jack's body breaks down. Baki wins the tournament. Jack tries to fight Yujiro but failed. In a flashback, the United States government sends its special forces to South America to kill a young Yujiro Hanma. Also, Yujiro meets Biscuit Oliva for the first time.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Oga. My name is Oliver. Unchained. 光栄だな。その名を知っていてくれたとは。誰もその存在をつなぎ止めることができない。故に人呼んで Unchained.
Another Tuesday in the Baki world, and 5 of the most dangerous death row inmates in the world, locked away in different countries under maximum security, all managed to escape at the exact same time. No one knows how, no one knows why, but they are share the same bizarre goal. They want to experience defeat. These are men who have never lost a fight in their lives, and the idea of finally meeting someone strong enough to beat them is, to them, the ultimate thrill. The first is Spec, an American criminal who moves and hits like a superhuman. He can hold his breath for minutes on end and squeeze a human head like a tomato. Then there is Dorian, a polite and almost gentlemanly British killer, but one who can turn a handshake into an explosion. He's a master of deception, illusion and hiding explosives where you least expect them. Sikorsky, the Russian escaped artist, can scale sheer walls like a human spider and loves close quarter combats. Yanagi, a Japanese martial artist, has mastered the deadly poison hand, a technique that can deadly poison you with a single touch. And finally Doyle, a living arsenal. This man hides weapons, blades, wires and even explosives surgically inside his own body. Their target Tokyo, their prey the strongest fighters in Japan. The first battle happens almost immediately. Spec ambushes Hanayama on the street and the fight is pure chaos. Teeth flying, concrete walls shattering and neither man backing down despite taking hits that will kill an ordinary person. Hanayama eventually puts Spec down but not before taking brutal damage himself. At the same time, Dorian strolls right to Katsumi's dojo, acting like a polite guest. That politeness disappears when the fight starts. He was easily outmatched in skill, but Dorian escapes using tricks, illusions and explosives. Doyle goes after Baki at his school, turning a normal day into a battlefield, but the fight ends before a clear winner is decided. Sikorsky starts hunting opponents all over the city, defeating some punching bags here and there. Yanagi challenged Baki and the ghost Shibukawa, escaping at the end, managing to poison Baki. From here, the season turns into a web of overlapping showdowns. Dorian fights Doppo Orochi in a savage match, then faces Kato and finally meets Retsu Kaio, this time losing decisively. He's captured and in a strange twist he later hypnotizes himself into believing he's a child, ending his violent career. Sikorsky, after around 25 losses to Baki, eventually challenges Jack Hanma. Jack slams him into the ground repeatedly at different locations, before getting bored and passing the baton to Gaia, who humiliates Rustard even harder. Doyle meets Retsu, and despite all the hidden weapons, Retsu's precise martial arts take him apart. Yanagi eventually confronts Baki himself. His poison hand is dangerous, but Baki, who has already experienced sex, easily destroys the old jerk. After that, he met Yujiro, who showed their beef in an easy way. By the end, the so-called most evil death row convicts are no longer a threat. Dorian is mentally a child, Spec the weak old man, Sikorsky is humiliated and back in custody, Doyle is injured and captured, Yanagi is beaten and locked away. Baki, still sick from Yanagi's poison, is slipped into China's once-in-a-century Right Eye tournament thanks to Kaio Retsu's pull. Meanwhile, Muhammad Ali Jr. tests Yujiro Hanma with a hold approach, establishing himself as a brash new challenger. After a pointless test of strength for Yujiro,
voy a cantar esta canción con mucho cariño de mi corazón. A la República Dominicana, la casa del merengue y la casa de la bachata.
the first round matches showcase contrast in style and mindset. Ali Jr. bleeds Kaio Joe with blinding hand speed and timing, while Baki steps in against Kaio Ri, China's premier poison hand specialist. Despite his condition, Baki begins to turn the tide with their ring IQ and willpower, eventually recovering by poisoning his poisoned body even more, which somehow negates all the poison.
Con mucho cariño de mi corazón, a la República Dominicana, la casa del merengue, la casa de la bachata. La 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 la.
The reigning Sea Emperor, the elderly Kaio Kaku, accepts the staggering age gap to fight Kaio Sauman. An old potato easily outmatched the young donkey, deleting him from the tournament with a cock flick.
La casa del merengue, la 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 la, y la casa de la
Kaio Chin clashes with Japan's lone Kaio Efane Jaku. Offstage, Baki goads Yujiro the real mountain he wants to climb.
bachata.
Biscuit Oliva comes to the stage, fighting Shabun Ron with his notorious hand-in-pocket stance. Their bout is a study in brute force versus razor-sharp counters, each probing for the other's breaking point. Oliva found the breaking point of Ron's skull, pounding his opponent's head with devastating headbutts.
Música, 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 te traigo música.
Retsu meets the crafty Jaku. On paper, the superior technician, Retsu is nonetheless dragged through feints, traps and outright dirty tricks. The fight becomes about imposing honest Kenpo structure on a sly, tactical 4 and finally breaking through it.
Música, música, música de la República. Ajá.
And the final fight, Yujiro Hanma, the strongest creature on Earth, versus Kaio Kaku, the embodiment of Chinese Kenpo, terrifying biology against centuries-honed technique, and the arena holds its breath. The outcome underscores Yujiro's inhuman ceiling while honoring Kaku's art, a resolve that stuns fighters and officials alike. Kaio lost and almost died, surviving only by faking his death before Yujiro's final blow. As a result, Kaku gives Yujiro a Kaio title. The focus shifts, Light Jr. proposes to a bewildered Kozue, then sets out to prove he's the better man than Baki by challenging living legends. He dazzles with speed and timing against masters like Goki Shibukawa and Doppo Orochi, using boxers' mechanics to puncture traditional defenses, somehow defeating the OG gods of the Baki series. Nonsense. Riding that momentum, Light Jr. seeks another battle and runs into Jack Hanma. Jack's sadistic pressure, durability and feral pace expose the gulf between point fighting brilliance and the no-rules predator's world Baki's circle inhabits. After that, OG gods make their comeback, humiliating already traumatized Romeo even more. Better to end the questioning himself, Ali Jr. returns to his room where his father, the great Muhammad Ali, quietly insists on a bout. Deep under the Tokyo Dome, Baki finally answers Ali Jr.'s challenge. Fully recovered and calm, he shifts from playful to predatory in an instant, dismantling Jr. with surgical control. As a result, Ali Jr. was saved from death by his daddy. After the confident victory, Baki finally seriously challenged Yujiro Hanma. Also, Baki and Kozue broke up or something, but to be fair, who cares? The season is starting with Yujiro killing a giant elephant which even tanks could not damage, typical Yujiro behavior. Then Baki befriended a young boy, who will be needed only to comment on Baki's imaginary fight against the giant praying mantis, in which young Hanma Dreamer surely came out the winner. After that, Baki decided that the best way for him to become stronger before his fight against Yujiro is to fight Oliva, the strongest guy in the USA. But not just meet him on the street how a normal person would probably do. In the Baki's head, the best way to fight Oliva is to go to the prison where Oliva lives. But how? By kidnapping the USA president, of course, but not from his home or something, from a freaking parade with tons of people watching as well as hundreds of armed bodyguards securing their bus. As we already know, all that in Baki's mind comes to reality, so he easily kidnapped the president and with a cup of coffee nicely asked Bosch to send him to Arizona prison.
And what happens if I don't accept your demands?
Well, then things would have to get physical. You'd live, of course.
All right, I concede to your demands.
In the prison, Baki greeted Oliva, but Unchained does not want to fight him, cause he will fight with the second strongest in the prison soon. In his cell, Baki meets an already forgotten character from Maximum Tournament, boxer Iron Michael, who once for some reason was imprisoned. And of course in his cell was imprisoned the second strongest guy who will fight Oliva. It was a pirate who created his own country on an island and bullied the USA president. His name is Jun Guevara, an anime version of Che Guevara. This guy could do anything he wants in the prison, like walking around, stealing cigarettes or a gun from the guards, and beat other arrogant prisoners when he wants to. One night, three identical guys who finish each other's sentences
Then it must mean that you're in a real fix.
were sent to punish Iron Michael, so he could not return to the boxing ring when he gets out of the prison. And they would succeed in that task, if not Jun rolled in to save his cellmate. He just peed on them and they ran away in fear of his pirate ring with much salt in it. The next day, Jun and Oliva exchanged pleasantries and teach Baki that you do not interfere with elders when they're talking.
Stop making kissy faces and bragging about
After they talk, Oliver ran away because he forgot to turn off the kettle. Turning off the kettle, Oliva came on a date with his beautiful girlfriend who really likes Oliva.
You're a loser! You gluttonous brute, raging narcissist, ungrateful child! Absolute moron! womanizer, complete imbecile, total piece of garbage.
Then he brings her to see his fight against June. The fight was really cool. They played with the handkerchief, punch each other, with the smell of his own fart from the bottle. June enters the sign mode, but even that is not enough to overpower the power of America, and Oliver nailed him like a fly. A few days later, after peeing on Baki's head, Oliver finally agreed to fight the young boy. The fight was better than the previous one, a lot of walls and doors were destroyed, Oliver even turned into a ball, Baki was slammed to the floor a lot of times, but it was not enough to overpower the power of Japan, and a small Japanese boy pushed back America by himself. So Baki defeated the strongest man in America and just went back home to Tokyo from America on a bike. Also at the end of the last episode, Pickle was showed, a creature who will be the main antagonist of the next season.
A transparent salt deposit 1,000 meters thick formed 190 million years ago. The excavators working there had come to a halt and were just standing still, unable to believe what they saw in front of their eyes.
Underground workers found a man frozen in a rock who finds a dinosaur, got them out of it and give them to scientists, who tried to revive a man who was frozen for 190 million years but remained completely unharmed. Why didn't they try to revive a T-Rex who was also frozen in the same rock? Who knows. But anyways, they failed surely because they're stupid as hell, and the big dude wakes up by himself because he's hungry. That's how the new Baki season started. An anime about martial arts ended up being a horror science fiction with a big angry creature who hunts and eats people. But things changed fast when a naked dude appeared befriending the creature by showing his balls. Surely in the USA no one cares about such a 190 million years mankind treasure named Pickle, and the naked mustache man took it to Japan because Japan is the center of the world in the Baki series, because Baki lives in Japan. Pickle was born by a dinosaur probably because no humans lived in his time, and surely he is using the same stance as Yujiro because he is 190 million years Hanma, because Hanma was a dinosaur at first. That's how Yujiro is so strong, he is a dinosaur. Every Baki character has no sense of self-preservation,
Go on and take my life.
so all of them came to meet Pickle, a creature who was hunting and eating dinos, who greeted them with a powerful stream of urine and went back to sleep. But this creature wants to eat, so the mustache man decided to feed him the most annoying one of the crew, 4,000 years of martial arts dude who everyone is tired of already because he's talking about his stupid 4,000 years old kung fu everywhere he goes.
Am I supposed to be impressed or something? Where you are now, we were at 2,000 years ago! In the long history of great kung fu fighters, over 4,000 years. 4,000 years of history! Kung fu has had 4,000 glorious years of history. 4,000 years. 4,000 years of history. Kung fu. And it's 4,000 years.
4,001st year of Kung Fu.
The feeding session went well and Pickle was well fed, unluckily eating only a leg and shoulder of an annoying ponytail dude. After that, a living caveman who was supposed to be guarded and studied was left on his own and went on a walk, ripping off a dude's pee-pee and taking all of his clothes. At the same time, another annoying dude sends hundreds of punching bags to find Pickle and probably die, feeding him so much so he could not fight. But the plan does not work and another annoying dude has to fight hungry Pickle one-on-one. This dude decided that he is the main character and he could defeat such a creature with his imagination, and imagined that his arm is whips and he can attack with supersonic speed.
The imagination is limitless.
But imagination works only for Baki, not for some random stupid karate dudes, so he defeated himself by punching Pickle's titanium body, breaking his own arms and legs in the process. He was ready to be eaten, but Pickle had a nice meal before and was happy only eating Katsumi's hand. Also have to say that the fathers in the Baki series are something else. His son was about to be eaten alive in front of hundreds of people, but the only thing that Doppo worried about is his son's warrior honor.
Were you actually about to do something that would bring shame on my son? It may not have been spoken, but there was a promise made between Katsumi and Pickle. You have no say in this, and no right to interfere. My son will keep his promise. Order them to put those guns down. I hope I don't have to go out there and clean up after your mess.
Nice pep talk. I appreciate it.
Oh, actually his son is adopted, so probably that's how adoptive parents usually do. Pickle was hungry again, and his biggest meal so far appeared. Jack Hanma, who is a caveman himself in terms of brain cells, came to be killed. Using every of his brain cell on a maximum level, Jack rushed to kiss Pickle on the lips, but the only creature caveman kissed in his life was a girl T-Rex, and she loved it rough, so Pickle kissed Jack so hard that rips off a half of Hanma's face eating it. Insatiable Jack wanted more, but Pickle was tired already and ran away from Two-Face. Finally, the protagonist of the Baki series appeared in the 10th episode out of 13, and looks like the Hanma brother dividing one brain for two.
We are really high up! Oh, look who's here. Man, this is crazy. Uh-oh, here comes the bro. I can feel my internal organs are in total chaos from the shock of hitting the ground. My diaphragm's being forced up as far as it'll go. It's crushing my lungs, which explains why I'm barely able to suck in any oxygen.
And 50 kilos kid decided to fight 300 kilos monster using only his strength.
Thrown away a sure victory earned by his skills, and instead sought to prove that he could beat his opponent in a test of stamina.
After a great fight against the fresh meat-loving prehistoric mutant creature, Baki had his body inspected by a definitely not gay Dr. Kureha, and the fight did not remain without consequences. After seeing such an unbelievable creature from nightmares, Baki's brain becomes angry at young Hanma, telling him that he was not ready for a gachi battle against a huge caveman. Baki's and Kozue's relationship is strained. A young woman wants intimacy every night, remembering how she got wed by Alai Jr., but the testosterone gorilla wants only to punch people and has no time for such bullshit. Baki decides to chill out by knocking out a bunch of thugs, but was interrupted by a long time ago forgotten dude who worked for his mother. Over a cup of coffee, they remember a time when Baki was bodybuilding and loved by his mother, as well as how Yujiro loved Emi. After such a friendly talk, Baki gets emotional and runs away. Meanwhile, the ogre, having fun with Black Mamba in the prison, and the tiny dude Tokugawa buys the Tokyo government so father and son could be able to fight without interference from the police, basically saving the life of a lot of people. Baki working out in his basement fighting Yujiro's Patronus. Gary Stradon preparing to lose in a fight against Yujiro to boost his friend's ego. He has to do it every year, challenge Yujiro to a fight and do nothing, giving his friend a free win so as not to upset him. After a fight against Pickle, one-legged lover of old martial arts, training at the boxing gym. After Retsu destroyed the punching bag, he angered the local cleaner who laughed at his haircut. 4,000 years of martial arts were not in vain and he crushed a poor janitor. After such a great victory, he got a contract from a famous American promoter to fight against top world cleaners in a World Cleaner Boxing Championships. The world government decides how to control Yujiro, but the ogre interrupts them and makes the US president forget his origin. Baki dreams about a friend and imagines how his dinner with Yujiro could go, telling this to Stridham, who sometime later tells it to Yujiro. Happy that his son wants to see him, he wants to make a test dinner with Tokugawa, so their dinner with Baki could go well. But Hornswoggle did not agree and Yujiro lasers his stomach with ogre eyes. At the same time, Retsu drinks detergent as a sign of respect to the VT Boxing Championship and enters the ring against the Russian cleaner, who is furious because Retsu is not the real cleaner, just an amateur. But a one-legged dude with a lovely hairstyle KO'd the best Russian cleaner, earning fame, respect and money as the first non-cleaner dude who KO'd the professional. Meanwhile, Baki goes crazy in his basement, transforming into a cockroach. Sometime later, Yujiro shows up to drink some coffee with his son, but as he was not prepared for such a thing as a friendly dinner, as he never did anything good in his life, he starts to glow, tears the table in half and leaves scared. Later on the street, Baki was attacked by a suicide boy, Chiharu Shiba, who was sent by Hanayama to dispel young Hanma's boredom. Baki had a lot of fun jumping on Shiba's fists and legs with his head, defeating his opponent by punching Chiharu's fingers with his own eyes. Then he went back home and started to pray a cockroach. Retsu faced a VT boxing champion and was dominated in a fight, but just in time remembered that soon he would be home eating soup, his favorite meal, which was made by his coach during his time in the temple. With the power of soup, he finds a way to defeat his opponents and becomes a legend of the World Cleaner Boxing Championships. Yujiro meets Doppo in a bar and asks for the help of a man who knows how to be nice during a friendly dinner with his son.
I hope I don't have to go out there and clean up after your mess.
Nice pep talk. I appreciate it.
With the help of Doppo, father and son have dinner once again, and Yujiro is very mannered until they decide to play rock, paper, scissors and ogre lose. His primal instincts kicked in and he ran away once again, venting his anger on the police dudes who were messing around Baki's house. Unhappy with his failure, Yujiro invited Baki for dinner round 3 and even put on his best suit. Everything was fine until Baki asked Yujiro a question about his mother, which once again triggered the wild ogre's nature and the red lantern started to glow once again. But this time Baki does not let Yujiro run away and grabs his father's jacket. After this, a fight that should have been the end of the whole Baki series, but was not even halfway, and we already have a Santa Barbara-like story with 1 million spin-offs started. So the fight between two martial artists started, and during this totally normal battle of two humans, a lot of hard techniques, of course, from the real world was used, like jumping off a skyscraper, boot throwing, woman slaps, breaking walls with the body, dinosaurs attacks, beams of love, father and son hugs, pissed pants. Baki even summoned the Patronus of his grandfather to cheer up for him. As a result, Baki and Yujiro reached their limit. Kozu appeared out of nowhere and started farting some shit, but no one cares about the woman in this family, and the two Gigachats continued to fight. The fight was over and Baki was out of condition. Yujiro tried to leave, but young withered Baki once again summoned the Patronus, which attacked his father. As a result, they both eat Patronus food, and Yujiro declares Baki the strongest on Earth. Father and son shake hands.
Baki.
You son of a bitch!
This video was interesting to you, leave a like and subscribe for more. Also, don't forget to ring the bell. Comment down below. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Bye.